Hello Gemini, hello and welcome into your general tarot card reading for the second week of the. So this weekly reading going to cover the 8th to the 15th of Jan. And Gemini, this is a general tarot card read, so take away from it what you will. So Gemini, needless to say, we have 4 major arcana over here, so that's going to be very, very interesting. Wow, and I would say a profound to the certain degree week for you. So we have the moon, the star, judgment, and the 4th card, Hierophant. He comes as a suggestion, as the best way forward sort of thing. So with the moon, it might be, and this is very interesting, because Gemini, you might be going backwards and forwards, lack of clarity here for some time. It's just, you don't know where you're going with the moon, because the star is in, the moon is in, so they're kind of back to front in a way. So this is kind of, in my mind's eye, this is, and that's how it's coming through, it's kind of regaining the clarity, because for one, the moon is representing this, well, I would say it's representing emotions. It's sometimes representing, because it's representing by water, and in astrology, you know, it links to the moon, and it's talking about the Cancer in astrology and Pisces. So they're watery signs. So this is all about the our unconsciousness, and also the number is in, and it kind of goes down to the 9, and that we have a hermit, and hermit is about looking the clarity in situation, and the moon and the star, they're also talking about going for those motions and emotions to find the clarity within the situation. And I think so the moon is representing this time of fluctuation, uncertainty, confusion, time of being passive rather than being active. And because of that, I would say you might find very difficult to find where is your purpose. And maybe this is because I think there's something to do with the purpose, the clarity of where you're going to, the purpose of what is the way forward. And I think you find it very difficult to find way forward, because you too much focus about now and what is in the now. So this is kind of clouding your vision for the future. And there might be very and your own feelings, they might be coming and going. You might be not understanding from where they're coming, and you might have those shifts in feelings as well. So this might be not really helpful either. So I think, wow, because I think there's lack of clarity, because you might have the 2 choices, you might find it very difficult, you might be different sides of you wanting different things, because you have this, that we have this dog and this wolf and this Cancer. So you might don't want to either. Tower might be representing stability, Tower might be representing things that you want, might be representing the getaway, kind of crossing point, the unknown. So it's almost, there might be unwillingness or a fear of going through something, and the Tower might be also, you know, indicating the protection from the environment. So that might be the one thing, but also those animals might be representing for you here, Gemini, there's unconscious fears of failure, and sometimes a despair as well, for whatever reason. And it feels like you have to go for those motions and notions in order to understand yourself, from that you are not one whole kind of homogeneous kind of being, if that makes sense. Um, and I think what the moon is coming and what is just came through, that is a massive crash between this week, might be between what do you think you are and who you are. And it's almost like this moon is talking about you starting listening your intuition, your inner wisdom, and don't allow yourself being deceived by the apparent security, as the things not might be as they seem. So this is, I think, what's going to happen, some kind of illusion or some kind of type of security or security blanket that you think you have. It's going to be, you're going to understand you don't need it. You're going to come to the understanding you don't need it, because the moon is calling for you to be more independent and more trust in yourself and build on your own security, and not rely on others, just rely on yourself. So this what is coming through, and the moon might be coming with the frustration, because I think there will be some kind of frustration happening here as well. But it's also about the balancing, and this is very strong over here. And do not it's also about the self-deception. So the moon is telling you to trust yourself, and this kind of veil, this kind of cloud on has something to do with the security as well. I think it's just not knowing what the future is going to bring. And I think that's the moon, and this is going to bring the whole thing of it's like, I would say, anxiety build up. And I think that's what it's going to be for you here. It's going to be an anxiety build up. So because of that, you're going to have a star, and star, it's all about this new hope, optimism, healing and inspiration, and return to the life, faith, to being in the flow of things, independence, so harmony. So this dark night of the soul that moon going to kind of cast upon you at the beginning of that second week of Jan here, Gemini, is going to pass away, and you're going to have a clarity. You know what you're going to do. You're going to be far much more with this waters. You see this maiden, this naked maiden is pouring out this water. So it's talking about the abundance. It's talking about the scene. It's also representing the principle of 8, and 8 is about the harmony, and the star, it stands for Aquarius and Gemini. So for you, Gemini, so it's representing this balance. It's representing also the new beginning, and it's also, I would say, that with the star, you're going to have a faith and belief in new and better life ahead. So whatever worries and uncertainties you had with that moon, the star going to kind of almost cancel it. And because of the principle of 8 over here, once again, in terms of symbolism of this card, we have 8-pointed star of Venus over here. So it's star of love. So it's this kind of, I always call it a North Star. It's this kind of guiding principle. It's this kind of clarity, this inner knowing. So that's what is coming through. And I think the overall star is promising the change for better. It's going to give you this sense of faith and hope, and it's going to remind you that you cannot give up. Gemini basically is to not give up, that everything is possible and you can make it. And then you have the Judgment, and Judgment is kind of representing this change of consciousness. Judgment is representing the principle of 2, and it's about new vibration. It's work well done. It's talking about enlightenment, rebirth, rebirth, and I think that is going to be the main theme for you, and the new purpose and new ambitions and progression. So that's what the judgment going to bring you here, Gemini. And it's all, and also judgments is linking in terms of astrology, is linking to the Pluto and Moon, and Pluto is very forward moving, and the Moon, it's the inner knowing and independence in a way. Something going to be revealed. You're going to have that kind of revelation over here, very strong one, I would say. And because of that, there's going to be judgment. Also. It's talking about this process of purification. It's talking about examination and about the experiences that we're gaining during our life journey. And it's also talking about the cycle and the phase where we come into a very clear position when we're going to kind of understand what is it that we're trying to achieve. Because don't forget, the judgment is just one step. It's nearly, the world is one, and the world is the completion, the finishing of the cycle. So it's almost the judgment over here. It stands for final stage of purification and transformation before the completion of the journey. So you're almost going to be near this kind of final resolution, the completion of the karmic cycle, where everything has to be kind of purified. So maybe that's why you have this moon and star kind of taking you on this kind of karma fulfillment, indicating this kind of awakening of sorts. So this is going to be kind of talking about the change in your own consciousness, and because you went through that kind of dark night of the soul, you'll be ready to blend this new you, and because of that, blend those things, different sides of you. I think because the moon is also representing different parts of you, different. Your yearnings, your wantings, your things that you're afraid of, also fears, and you're going to realize that you don't have that kind of, like I mentioned before, this homogeneous personality. You are kind of, you have those different pieces to you, and they're going to kind of come together. And judgment is also talking about the healing process. And the healing quite often, Gemini, sadly enough, and that is true of it's how life is, I'm afraid. I know it firsthand. We kind of endure inherited pain whilst going through the purification process. So we have to go through the pain in order to heal and to emerge reborn. So because that's how we gaining the life experiences. That's how we becoming wiser through that kind of purification process. And sadly, because of that, we have to go through much pain, both physical on both physical and mental levels. So this is about this new state of consciousness, this new quality about your life, this coming to the end of the cycle. And because we have the angel Gabriel here being depicted with this golden horn, he's talking about in this card about the final liberation. It's all about cosmic fire or the divine breath. So it's almost indicating this new beginning. It's like the new child being born. It has this kind of first breath, and this is also indicating. And because the horn it's the vibration, if you're going to think that the sound it's creating everything, and everything is about frequency. This is talking about also the ability to create the world about you, around you, and to liberate you from the limitations as well. So this is all about creating the new you by this kind of, it's almost I don't know how to precisely explain this, but you're going to come from this in this week from this you're going to go through a massive process, and it's going to be awakening of the new awareness over here, and with that it's going to come, I would say this will going to come with the very it's going to be like, I would call it illumination process. It's going to be representing this kind of death and transformation and regeneration for you here, because the Pluto, to the certain degree, that is because the judgment is represented by the Pluto and the moon. The Pluto is regarded sometimes as a destroyer and the rebuilder. So whatever is happening in this underworld of yours that you're going to go through, and is symbolized by the moon over here, everything that is hidden and submerged and in your unconscious self is going to go through this purification period. It's amazing, Gemini. It's beautiful. And then it's the Hierophant. And the Hierophant as a card here is to remind you, Gemini, that you have to live very much within here and now. Because the Hierophant is representing the earthly structures, is representing the gods are representative of on earth for one hand, and is representing the direction, but it's also representing the advice, learning, wisdom, and it's also talking about freedom as well, but freedom that is within the realm of what is visible as well. That's what I would say for you. So I think this Hierophant is talking about you have to kind of find yourself with the realm of human experience, come to the terms that certain things, that certain way, you cannot change them. They are how they are. So it's almost like, you know, when there is this grace prayer when people say, God, give me the strength to understand things I cannot change, and understand those that I can. So this is very much a Hierophant to understanding the difference between things you have to come to accept and things you're able to change. And that is the overall message for you, Gemini, for the second week of Jan. I think it's rather profound week and profound message for you. I would like to say massive for tuning in, and bye for now. If this reading has resonated with you, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to book a private reading with me, please feel free to go to the website www.tarotwithmishka.co.uk, or alternatively you can email me at mishka@tarotwithmishka.co.uk. If you would like to find me on Facebook, just simply type in Tarot with Mishka. I would like to say a massive thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.